So, we will today try to talk on how to study Materia Medica as we have discussed. So, I asked for your queries and your queries were interesting and obvious also. So, in study of Materia Medica we are having a lot of questions because the Materia Medica itself is a large and enormous data. So, to have a questions and queries, it is very obvious, and about this large data to memorize is not possible because our mind and memory has a limitation. So, there are always questions about remembering symptoms and all. But the interesting aspect is that somehow we need to understand it properly because we have to apply the understanding of Materia Medica in our patient. So, anyhow we need to grasp the basic essence of that particular medicine or remedy. If we summarize your queries, they were about either remembering the symptom, it is difficult to recall, or comparison of different medicine, or understanding mind and personality, how we can understand the personality from mental symptom and all, or difficulty in understanding certain particular mental symptom, or understanding symptom in itself. Some symptoms are difficult to understand, and how to apply the Materia Medica into a patient when patient comes to us. This is a sort of a summary of your queries. So, we will not discuss the particular of your queries today, but I will try to show you the way which I followed when I was student and till date also, and which I suggest to my student also, and I found it very effective for me and for them who I have suggested. So, I will try to share that way how to study. It is not the final way, but somehow I think it is very useful way, so I should share it. See how different student study Materia Medica. Some try to follow one or two book and try to memorize them, right? Or some read the modern or modernist Materia Medica directly without grasping the basic, right? Or some watch the videos, okay? And some feel that there is a repertory to help, so there is no need to give a lot of attention to Materia Medica. So, these are the stands of a student about the study of Materia Medica. See, the study of Materia Medica is a lifelong study, this is one thing. So, it is always good to start better. Another is it will get improved as you study, and you are going to add more of knowledge and more of understanding as you study it further and further, and thus your understanding about Materia Medica and skill how to apply Materia Medica to your case will evolve with the time you study it for a long term, okay. So, in first year you study it differently. At this point when you are in final year or internship, or you just passed your degree, this is different thing, and after 5 years of practice this is also different thing, okay. So, I will try to give the suggestions at your level, mostly at a internship or fresher level, not the first year level, okay. So, I hope you are basically clear about what is Materia Medica, and you all have read some primary books to pass the exam and all. We will talk beyond one step that, okay. So, this is not about how to pass exam, but this will help you to understand it better, and it will also help you to pass the exam if you have any exam to clear now or entrance or whatever, okay. So, it is basically a long study, but it is important, and I feel that I should share it. It is not the only way, but I think that it is useful way. So, let us see. Understanding Materia Medica is about understanding medicine action of medicine, okay. So, how we understand the action of medicine? It is in a different aspects. First simple way is how where it acts. When we are studying the Materia Medica or medicine, where it acts means a sphere of action, right? It is not just about the list of location, but we need to say it differently. Sphere of action means which type of organs are being covered, which type of tissue is being affected by the medicine, and which type of particular location is affected, right? Sometimes it is very peculiar, so you need to remember that for that medicine. So, it is about one thing is about we need to be clear where medicine is acting the most, or what is the spectrum of affection of medicine on the organism, okay. These are the point. by which we are knowing the action of the medicine. Another is how it acts, where it acts. Now is how it acts. So it is about its chief action, the main pathology it produces or it may cover, and the pathogenesis, the whole process of producing symptom or disease, how it acts, which type of pathology medicine covers, either functional, structural, everything. Okay, and there are some guiding symptoms, some generals by which we know the all over action of medicine. Okay, in which way it is acting. Suppose Nux vomica and arsenic both are having sphere of action on digestive system, but both are having action differently. So this is how you look at the action of medicine on particular system or organs. This is one thing. Another is guiding symptom and generals. Then comes the keynotes or PQRS aspect, which are the symptoms most peculiar to the medicine and which differentiate medicine from another. So broadly, when you understand the general action, it is necessarily not containing the highly peculiar aspect, but it is the all over a broader view of the action of the medicine. But about keynote and PQRS, they are the individual symptoms which are very peculiar, which is important to select the medicine or which differentiate one medicine from another, highly peculiar, right? They are the keynotes. So you need to remember that not for the general action of medicine, but for the selection and differentiation of the medicine. Then comes the mind. Mind comprises of mental symptoms. You also understand with the combination of mental symptom, you try to understand which type of mental state medicine can be able to produce or cure the mental state, which type of mental state. Another is, we talked of personality, which type of personality is more affected by that medicine. So you may be knowing that there is a written in Nux vomica or some other medicine, it acts mostly on this type of person. So what is that? That is the personality or type of personality on which Nux vomica is having a higher susceptibility or higher action, affinity. Okay, and the situation. When we try to understand the mind and situation, which type of situation produces this type of personality. The classical example is Nux vomica is overstudying, highly ambitious, continuous mental exertion, and then having lot of stimulants and gets irritated. This is all the situation. So it helps us to understand the state. Sometimes personality may not be Nux vomica, but that particular phase may be produced by situation, the Nux vomica state, which we need to cure. So thus it helps us to understand different situation in which medicine can be indicated, different personalities of that particular medicine, mental states, mental symptoms, right? And then comes the clinical condition in which you are to apply that medicine to your case. Before that, you are knowing which type of symptoms medicine covers, which are the keynotes, which is the mental symptom and personality. But when you are to apply, you need to understand which type of the possible clinical condition in which you are going to apply that particular medicine, or possibly medicine can be applied in different type of clinical conditions. So these are the broader point we need to remember about action of medicine. So keep in mind these points while studying Materia Medica. Now how to go further is, there are lots of aspects. So we talked of this different aspect. One book may not cover all of this aspect. Okay, you read any book, but that particular book is good for one aspect and may not be that much good for another aspect. For example, Allen's keynote is very good for remembering or studying keynotes, but it may not give you the whole of picture of personality or mental image of that particular medicine. So you need to refer different book for that. So to understand the different aspect which we discussed, so you have to study it from multiple book. So this is the point, one book or multiple book. So the studying Materia Medica from one book at a very start in student level, at your level, not the first year, it may not help that much to improve your understanding about Materia Medica. Okay, so you should read multiple books. What is the reason? Why? Because multiple books having a different aspects, so you got to know the whole picture. In some you will get a better idea of chief sphere of action and pathogenesis. In some you will get a better idea of general or how it acts on the economy or organism. In some you will get a better idea of the personality or mind or mental symptom. In some you will get a better idea of clinical situations in which medicine can be applied. So this is the one thing you need to read or study Materia Medica from multiple books. Okay, so we will not talk too much advanced how to study source book and all this, but we will try to remain at a basic to intermediate level. Okay, so this is the basic thing. Some suggestions that while you study Materia Medica, don't try to or don't worry about remembering what you read, because we are habituated that we need to remember every symptom because we have to apply it. You are going to remember when you study properly without effort, or when you revise it enough. Okay, otherwise Materia Medica is having such a volume that you will get confused and over confused again and again, because it's an ocean of data. So that's why repertory came. So don't have a burden to remember while studying Materia Medica. Okay, try to remember when you are preparing for exam, but not you are doing a genuine study of medicine or Materia Medica. Okay, so free yourself of having that obligation of keeping memory. Okay, you will get remember when you understand it properly. Okay, so you might be knowing that some medicine you have studied very well than others sometimes. So you might be remembering those aspects of medicine when you discuss them, right, or a met, right? Or you can note down the briefings when you read any book. So try to note down in brief what you have understood from that book, because all books, all Materia Medica describe the medicine in a different style. Okay, so you may get some understanding from that book which you are not getting from other book. So cumulatively you will get a total understanding when you write down the briefings of your reading. Talking about Materia Medica books, so there are different type of books. I will not talk about every type of books, but if we see broadly, there are different books. Some are short books and to memorize, because they are having a limited data, say for Allen's keynote. So you need to remember the keynotes because they are limited in number. Okay, so without remembering it, you cannot apply, and they are not too much to forget actually. So you can easily remember. This is one thing. So some books are having a less of volume and to memorize. Some are for reference. You need to understand them. Otherwise you will get confused. How much I can remember this? Some are for reference. In that also there are larger work and smaller work. Larger are definitely the source book, because source book you cannot remember. You can study, you can refer, but you cannot remember. So they are the reference work. You need to keep in mind. They are not for remembering. They are for study and reference. And some are a concise collection of symptoms. They are also for reference. You cannot remember them all. They are for reference. They are a better collection of selective symptoms. They are a smaller work. And another type is for explanation and exploration. Say for example, Kent Materia Medica. It is for explaining. The Kent explain the whole situation, whole action of the medicine. So that is for explanation. When you read, you feel like you are sitting in a lecture and Kent is explaining you. That's why it's basically a lecture on Homeopathic Materia Medica. They are the notes of Kent's lecture prepared by his student. Okay, so it is in form of lecture. It's sort of an exploration or explanation in study of Materia Medica. So he explore and explain different situation and different aspect of the action of the medicine based on the original source book or some basic important symptoms. So that is explanatory type of Materia Medica. Okay, so you actually not need to remember every paragraph, but when you read with a good amount of involvement, then you are going to understand those aspects and you are going to remember it easily. So you can point down some pointers after paragraph. So it will help you to remind when you again after some time when you refer that book. Okay, or to summarize. Another is case based which mostly discusses the cases about the particular medicine, and some are about new conceptual books. For example, Jan Scholten, okay, he is having some concept about periodic table and its section and personality. So his Materia Medica is based on that concept. So some books are based on certain new concept. So you need to study those concepts before diving into that particular Materia Medica book. Okay, so keep in mind this type of points. So you need to understand which book you are referring, which type of book it is.